Israel, Israel, Israel. Let's go for some background here. Israel, since its founding in 1945, has fought three major wars: the Arab-Israeli War, the Six-Day War, the Yom Kippur War. Israel has also struck at two different countries, Iraq in 1981, Syria in 2007, in order to knock out nuclear reactors, airstrikes against them in order to eliminate their ability to produce nuclear weapons. Israel has going for it the Mossad, which is its equivalent to the CIA, one of the most effective intelligence agencies in the world. It has the support of the U.S. with our military, our economy, and our nuclear weapons. Israel also has its own nuclear weapons, its own nuclear capabilities. So Israel is currently run by a political party that's fundamentalist. It's religiously fundamentalist. They're the types that in the 1990s assassinated Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin because he was making peace with the Palestinians by people who thought he was giving too much away, by Jews who thought he was giving too much away. These are people who would spit on Arab Israeli citizens, who would call Jewish Israelis whores for dealing with Arabs. This is their mindset. You have American Christians who are fundamentalists. They would welcome a battle at Armageddon because that means that the second coming of Christ is on its way. So for Israel to attack Iran, this isn't seen as a problem for Christian fundamentalists. In fact, this is seen as the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, and they would welcome it. So why shouldn't Israel fear Iran? Well, for one thing, people are afraid of the things that the Iranian president, Ahmadinejad, has said. The Iranian president doesn't hold the power. The clerics hold all the power. The Ayatollahs hold the power. And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard hold the military power. And they're loyal not to the president, but to the clerics. There's nothing really to fear from the Iranian president and the things that he would say. The clerics are more pragmatic than that. If they wanted war with Israel, they would have done it a long time ago. And the reason why the clerics want nuclear weapons is to be a check on Israeli power, but also to be a check on Saudi Arabian power. The Saudis are Sunnis, and Iran is full of Shias. If you want to keep the Sunnis at bay, you'll develop nuclear weapons. The other thing is the concept of nuclear peace. When you have two countries, both with nuclear weapons, both with second strike capability, which means that if I hit you, I know that you could still hit me back. Those countries don't go to war with each other. They don't go to war directly. The U.S. and Russia both had nuclear weapons pointed at each other for 40 years, never went to war directly with each other. India and Pakistan both went to war with each other a number of times over the last 50 years. But as soon as the two nations got nuclear weapons with second strike capability, they stopped fighting each other. And so nuclear peace is a sort of strained peace, but it reduces conventional conflict. It reduces the number of people who die. The world is a much more peaceful place since the advent of nuclear weapons than at any time before. You have in Israel, with its history, with its capability, an orthodox fundamentalist viewpoint. You have Israel that's supported by Christian fundamentalists in the United States. And so when you try to ground things in reality, you can't speak to somebody who's fundamentalist. You can't speak to an entire country that is so fundamentalist that it becomes paranoid. Paranoia is irrational. It's not grounded in reality. The fear is that Israel would be willing to go to war, to drag the United States into war, to drag the whole world into war because of its paranoia. And with the most effective intelligence apparatus in the world, one of the most effective conventional militaries in the world, with the backing of the U.S. and nuclear weapons with second strike capability, that Israel would still be afraid of a country like Iran. Israel is paranoid, and that's the fear. And I know we have other domestic worries. The U.S. still has a bad economy. Herman Cain is facing sexual assault and sexual harassment allegations. We have an election in just under a year. And, Heavy D died last night, and Kim Kardashian got a divorce. I can see how we would be distracted. I'm not judging what people decide to hold important in their lives. But this thing with Israel, this is bigger than everything. This has the potential to drag us into World War III. So just be aware of it. Acknowledge it. If you see it on the news, don't roll your eyes and look away. It's just another conflict in the Middle East. Understand that this is bigger than the chess pieces on the board. This is the whole board.